What would you do if you'd paid a shitload of money to see your favourite artist, only for the people in front of you to do this? By now, we're all used to the sea of phones that dominates the crowd of any big concert. It's become clear that a sizable chunk of the general public feel they must record every single moment of the performance they're watching. But things seem to have gotten even worse, because no longer is it enough to film the performers you probably paid upwards of £100 or dollars or euros to see. Now people are busy filming themselves instead. In fact, TikTokers are enthusiastically encouraging others to do this too. To them, it's absolutely essential to leave every concert with an hour-plus long video of themselves having fun. It's even a sign of maturity to film yourself at concerts. If you're not recording yourself, you need to grow up and turn that front-facing camera on. And you'd better have some ungodly flash attachment on your phone too, because fuck anyone in your near vicinity who might want to still be able to see by the end of the show. Don't worry about the fact that most of the frame will be filled with faces of random strangers. I bet they wanted to start in your video anyway. We're living in an era where attending a concert has been as much about performing as it is about watching the performers, and often the only person we're performing to is ourselves. This is the internet is eating itself, and let's get into it. For many, the current situation with phones at concerts isn't great. If you're not tall, your view is almost entirely obstructed by phones and the arms holding them. Plus, it kind of kills the vibe being surrounded by people stood perfectly still as they try and get the perfect shot. And it's easy to see how that would dull the experience for performers who feed off the crowd's energy. And this is all for footage that's often shaky and low quality anyway. But hey, you can always ask the artist to start again if you forget to press record. And how often do these people even watch their own videos anyway? Of course, these kinds of criticisms have been frequent and loud enough that those on the receiving end have begun to respond with matching passion. For example, many of those who film claim that they do actually spend a lot of time rewatching their concert footage, hours every week even for Benson Boone.
Do a flip! Do a flip!
A common rationale among concert recorders is post-concert amnesia.
I record everything because the moment I step out of that arena, everything is gone. I can't remember anything afterwards, and I need video proof.
And if they don't film it, they regret it because they can't remember it afterwards.
When Billie Eilish did Tay Barricades Walks at tour, I was lucky enough to experience that 4 times, right? I filmed 3 of them. The one time I didn't film, I cannot remember it for the life of me. I literally am living off other people's videos to remember it.
There does seem to be some science behind this, namely the brain failing to encode memories because of the rush of excitement, along with the general sensory overload of a live concert. Lovey Sung, the same TikToker from a second ago, also makes the point that
me personally, I don't know how me not recording will make me enjoy the moment more.
While she might be filming, she's not looking at the screen, and even though her own footage is blurry, shaky, and with a 0.5 lens, she rewatches it daily anyway. And despite the belief that nobody actually watches fan-filmed concert footage posted online, there's evidence to the contrary. Take Taylor Swift's Eras tour, which was notoriously hard to get tickets for. This was religiously live-streamed on every concert night, helping those who couldn't attend feel included in the experience as it happened. Many performers seem to accept it and even embrace it, like Billie Eilish, who has spoken out in defense of the practice. And many have embraced it enough to grab fans' phones and film while on stage. Well, that or they just eat it like Morgan Wallen. But none of this, the amnesia, the memories, the acceptance from artists, even Morgan fucking Wallen chucking someone's phone into the crowd, actually explains what's changed. People filming to hold onto a moment to prove to themselves later that it had happened is a completely understandable impulse. That's not new, and that's not what this video is about, because somewhere along the way, attending a concert stopped being about the concert at all. And it's something of a generational shift too, the type of behaviour that feels totally normal and natural to someone born after a certain point, and alien to anyone born before it. Filming a concert used to mean just pointing your phone at the stage. Increasingly, it means pointing it at yourself instead, even to the extent that you do it for the whole concert. The performance becomes a backdrop, dressing up yourself, having the time of your life, on camera, for later. And for many of those who engage in this, it's something that they passionately advocate others do too. As one TikToker put it, everyone films the artist but no one is filming you. I don't know whether this is out of an altruistic desire to impart as much happiness unto the world as filming themselves does unto themselves, or they just want to normalize what they love doing. I'll let you be the judge of that. For some, it's not even an either or anymore. They want the stage and their own reaction captured at the same time. And the infrastructure for this already exists, pioneered by BeReal about 4 years ago now, and quickly copied by Instagram and Snapchat within months. There's also apps specifically designed for capturing concerts this way, like Mixcam, recommended by one TikToker for recording the Eras tour in a video that racked up 61,500 likes. Weirdly, a TikTok account for another dual camera app, Dual Take, screenshotted the first frame of this TikTok and then used AI to generate an entire video from it. Except there's no mention of their own app in the generated video, and they left the caption from the original video in. That's how weird the state of concert filming has gotten. There's now demand not just to film yourself, but to film yourself and the stage at the same time. And then to AI generate videos of people doing that to promote a different app that does the same thing. But for all the apps that exist to capture your once-in-a-lifetime concert experience, there are certain physical constraints that they can't circumvent, such as venues normally being dark everywhere but the stage. And so the inevitable solution is the same it's been since olden-timey cameras had those giant bulbs on them, a big flash. Except when you're filming yourself, it's more than just a flash. It's a persistent, bright, eye-watering light in the face of not just yourself, but everyone around you too. If this isn't something you've experienced firsthand, then, well, consider yourself lucky. And as you try and enjoy the concert with the surface of the sun in your peripheral vision, don't worry, as you'll definitely feature in that person's memories that last a lifetime thanks to the popularization of 0.5 lens photography. And when these videos are inevitably posted online, those in the background inevitably come under scrutiny from random commenters for not looking like they're enjoying themselves enough.
And I saw this girl who had the flash on. Her friend was recording her dancing, and there was two girls next to her that kept looking at her while she was dancing because they were in the back of her video. People were like, why aren't they dancing? Why aren't they dancing? Because you're shining a bright ass flash in their face and recording them while they're trying to enjoy a concert.
The comment sections of the TikTok shown in this video are a revealing insight into the mentality of proponents of self-filming at concerts. And there's a stunning lack of empathy for those who had their experience ruined. From a seeming cluelessness as to how it could bother someone at all, to the belief that because you paid for an event, you don't have to consider how your actions impact others. When people make arguments to the effect of, it's a concert, there's going to be bright lights, it's difficult not to think they're being disingenuous, because surely they can understand the difference between lights on a likely faraway stage and a bright light from the row in front of you. When someone asks for a very minor change in your behaviour for the benefit of the people around you, and you immediately dismiss it as a personal problem, doesn't that kind of make you an asshole? God, am I just getting mad at kids on TikTok in this video? And look, clearly there's a lot of people who record concerts solely to watch them back at a later date, but the fact that so many people seem to spam their Instagram or Snapchat stories with all these clips kind of undermines that idea. If you're spending the whole concert, or even most of it, filming yourself and broadcasting it to everyone who follows you, with the person you paid to see performing little more than background music, it seems a lot more like you're role-playing the performer for your audience. A lot of artists have already made it abundantly clear that they, for lack of a better phrase, do not fuck with looking out to a giant sea of phones. Tyler the Creator is probably the most well-known example, having famously taken out a billboard prior to his headline Coachella set that read, "I would love to see your faces and not your phone lights." Coldplay encouraged fans to put their phones away during a sky full of stars at the end of their performance, and yet, that's still simply too long for many fans. Other artists, like Static Dress, they're amazing, check them out, have taken things further by banning phones from some concerts entirely. And in a lot of dance music venues, it's become common to ban photos and videos, sometimes enforced by putting stickers on cameras. But even Beyoncé wasn't able to stop someone leaking her private Dubai performance in 2023, during which she performed to the now famous Dubai Riff. Some venues have adopted Yonder pouches into which attendees put their phones, and that only unlock when leaving, such as at Joe Rogan's comedy venue, The Mothership. Although fans have theorized that the rationale is down to more than just killing the vibe, and more so about idiots taking clips out of context to claim comedians are racist. Personally, when I go to a concert, I might take a few photos and short videos as mementos, but honestly, I'm worried I'm being a dick by blocking someone else's view, especially if they're shorter. I've been to phone-free events too, and honestly, I prefer them. I'd happily sacrifice taking photos and videos of my own if it meant getting a less obstructed view. There's normally a professional photographer there anyway who posts online after the event. The reality is though, the genie's out of the bottle, and I doubt we're going to see phone-free events becoming common anywhere other than dance music-centric nightclubs. The reason? Social media is absolutely essential to any artist hoping to perform anywhere other than tiny venues, and recordings of performances are some of the best marketing that artists can get. There's also a really pronounced generational element too. Purely anecdotal, but it seems that Gen Zs far and away record concerts more than older generations. Who knows, they might reverse course, but I don't think that's likely. The type of music, the genre the artist performs is a big factor too. There's simply much fewer phones in the air at a black metal gig than the Eras tour. So if phones at concerts bother you, then you might need to be more selective about the shows you attend, or stick to smaller venues where there's less likely to be a phone blocking your view, because I don't see this changing anytime soon. But what do you think? Are you someone who religiously films concerts, or does it piss you off? Or are you somewhere in between, like most people? Let me know in the comments down below and hit those like and subscribe buttons while you're down there. I release a new video every few weeks or so. Until next time, see ya.